When you stay with somebody consistently, you will notice that some things in that person, you start seeing it in yourself.
Anybody that can influence your decision, those people are what? They are your peers. Association brings about assimilation.
Rema.
Welcome to Level Up Teens Edition.
Woo!
Yeah, so today we are going to be discussing something very important, and I feel it's kind of underrated, or don't you think?
Yeah, it is actually. Let's just introduce ourselves before we go right into it.
Actually, yeah, I need to do that. Okay, I'm Shekinah Gabriel, and I'm here with...
My name is Imo Victoria. That's my name.
And together we are going to be co-hosting this show, Level Up Teens Edition.
Yeah.
And our topic and what we are discussing today is peer pressure 101. I mean, that 101 there is taking me back to school days. I mean, Chem 101.
How did you even get to 101, Sef?
Guy, I mean, since we are dealing with the basics, it just has to be peer pressure 101. So for today, we are going to be discussing. In fact, we're going to deal first with the definition and make people to understand what peer pressure really is. Because whenever people hear peer pressure, I guess sometimes what comes to the idea is everything negative.
Yes, exactly.
I need to know peer pressure is not just everything negative. So we're going to be discussing the definitions and the misconceptions concerning peer pressure.
Yes.
So stay tuned, and I'm very sure your life is going to be transformed with this show.
You will learn a lot.
You will learn a lot, and you will unlearn a lot.
Exactly. You know, we've been talking about this peer pressure even before we started this show. And this is your first time of hosting the show. Yeah. And for these are Gen Z teenagers. People are giving us a lot of problem. We are part of the Gen Zs.
Yeah, I think I'm still Gen Z. I think I'm still Gen Z.
Okay, we are part, but we have a lot that is going on amongst these Gen Zs, and this peer pressure, peer influence is part of it. Like you said earlier, peer pressure has been underrated. We feel when we hear peer pressure, we only attach it to negativity. People feel as though when you are pressured is to do bad things. But today we are going to change your mindset about certain things. There's going to be a mind shift.
It's going to be a mind shift.
Over to you.
Okay, now let's just start with who are your peers? Because when people hear peers, all they think of is age group. Age group is part of it, but your peers goes beyond your age group. Let's give, for instance, okay, some of you Gen Z, some of you are already working now. Some of you are already working. I mean, those of you in your 20s, some of you are already doing some stuff on this computer that, I mean, I'm not even sure myself I can do that much. Yeah. So let's say you're working with an organization, and the people you're working with, they are your colleagues, right?
Yeah.
But beyond being your colleagues, you guys are not discussing things that are outside work. Let's say in your free time or even off work duties. Let's say when you go home and all of that, you guys are now discussing things that are off work. Do you now get to realize that relationship that you guys have, all of you have become what? In a social group that makes you guys peers.
Yes, exactly.
So that person you are discussing with can actually
influence you. Exactly.
Influence you. And you get to realize that there are certain traits that you get from people. There are certain traits that you get from people just by being around them.
Exactly. I was saying it earlier that when you stay with somebody consistently, you will notice that some things in that person, you start seeing it in yourself. It happens naturally. It's not as if, okay, you intentionally decide to learn it. But because you are always around this person, probably maybe the person is used to say, you just notice that sometimes you start saying, it just happens naturally. So when it comes to this peers, and it's not just limited to your friends outside, even people, like you said, your people in your place of work. By the time you begin to discuss about things outside work, then they are part of your peers. They are your circle.
Yeah. So they are not just your colleague anymore. They are now part of your circle. People that you relate with. Anybody that can influence your decision, those people are what? They are your peers. Now, since you know who your peers are, people that you can relate with, your friends, people that you guys are in the same age group, same social group, those are your peers. Now we need to understand what peer pressure is. I mean, what is peer pressure? What is peer pressure? Peer pressure, peer influence, the same thing. So for me, I'll say peer pressure, it's is a situation where someone, especially your peers, start influencing the things you do. In most cases, things that you don't usually do, or things that you don't even want to do, but just find yourself doing them just because this person, just because this person does it, or this person influenced you or made you do it. Or what do you think?
And sometimes when it comes to, you're right, when it comes to this pressure of a thing, they might not come like, okay, I want you to do this. By the time they begin to do these things around you, you just find yourself, okay, desiring to want to do this thing. Like if you have a friend who smokes, and you stay around that person, I'm telling you, one day you will want to try it. Even if you feel like, no, I cannot be influenced. I'm coming from a good background. I was trained in the church. I was born in church. As long as you keep on staying around that person, one day you'll be pressured. Something will trigger something in you to want to try it. You'll be like, why is this person doing this thing? I want to know. You want to know the why. The reason why person is doing it.
This is something about ages. We just want to find out.
Yes, exactly.
Sometimes in our innocence, we just want to know what's going on.
Curiosity.
We just want to find out. This curiosity just keeps driving us crazy sometimes. And that is one thing that I call them boomers, our parents. That is something that they don't really understand about us. We just want to find out. And the process of wanting to find out, this curiosity sometimes drives us to the wrong decisions.
Exactly.
Which is mostly because of the people that we keep around us.
Yeah.
Someone said something, the person said association brings about assimilation.
Rema.
I've already started to speak. I'm feeling the spirit right now.
Exactly. We'll begin to speak in tongues.
Okay. Association brings about assimilation.
Yeah.
The people that hang around you determines what hangs on you.
What? I'm learning from you.
Don't worry. It means me after this show for impartation.
Before
I will impact you.
Maybe you can impact me now, Seb.
Don't worry, after the show. Yeah, so you need to, understand and get to know the people around you, and if possible, cut through so you don't start doing things that you yourself don't want to do. Because this thing called peer pressure is stronger than we think. Like, it's more intense than we think. Especially in secondary schools now.
If you can be watching someone on television and you want to do what they do, how much more people around you?
Okay, let's say, let me just give an instance. If you have to take a 9-inch nail, like a nail, and then get it to a magnet, let it stick to the magnet for a long time. You notice that after a period, when you remove this nail from the magnet, after a period, this same nail will start to attract smaller needles. That is because it has become accustomed to the magnetic properties of the magnet. So the association with that magnet, the magnetic properties of that magnet has rubbed off on the nail by association.
Exactly.
So the people that you keep around you will determine what to rub off on you, and in fact, it will determine your end, where you end up in life. It will determine your destiny.
And some of these teenagers don't really know that the kind of friends you keep determines where you will end up in life. And from your friends, I can just tell who you are, whether you're confused or you are in your right senses. We are human beings. We have people and all of that. But when you know who you are, you know where you're going to. There are certain people. Yes, different people come around you, but there are certain people you cannot just have as your friends. Knowing that people around you, people that you have as a friend, has the capacity to influence you, influence your decisions, influence everything about your life. Once you understand this, there are certain people you not just keep around you. There are certain people you not just have as your friends. Now, I'll be talking about this negative sides of peer pressure.
Okay.
Now, I asked you a question earlier. I was like, okay, what if we have, probably we are seeing this our age mates, people, someone in our age range doing something. It's not as if you're not doing anything.
Yes.
But sometimes you now begin to feel like you're not doing enough, and you feel like, oh, you are too slow or you are being delayed. Is that, and you begin to you want to do like what they are doing. Is that a negative influence, or a positive one. Now, this one is indirect because you don't really know this person.
Okay, yes.
But this person is just around your age range and all of that, you know, teenagers, youth, and all of that.
Okay. I'll say in that context, it could be either ways. It could be both negative and it could be both positive. In the sense that, okay, negative in the sense that you see this person and then instead of you just going through the process, yes, you begin to envy. And then from that envy, you start to compare yourself. And then you just want to jump to where the person is.
And because you want to jump, you can just literally do anything. And it leads to ingratitude to God.
You just, this generation, some of us just want to arrive. We don't want to go through the process. We just want to arrive. Not because we see our friend, especially on TikTok, guys. Especially on TikTok, just because we see our friends.
TikTokers
doing something that we are not yet doing. Then we just want to arrive and then we see some
dance
people
trend. Everybody's wearing crop top dancing.
I mean, it does not make sense. But that same situation, it could also be positive in the sense that it drives you to want to do more. It pushes you and then reduces every form of complacency in you, so that you want to like drive. Okay, if this person can do it, I also can do it. Then whatsoever that is bringing a lag in you, that alone destroys off.
So you're very, very right. And I hope our teenagers can really understand everything that I've been saying here. You see, this generation, these Gen Zs, there needs to be like a mind shift.
We really need it.
This particular show is something that can actually shift their mind from certain things. We've exposed them to different things about peer pressure. We've talked about we've
talked about the definition of peer. We've told you who your peers are, like the people around you and everything. It's
not just limited to your close friends.
Not just limited to your age mates. Anybody that's influencing you to do something you don't want to do, that person, practically under peer influence, my bro, or my sis.
Anyone.
So, yes, we've talked about the peer pressure and we've also spoken about the misconceptions concerning peer pressure. So it could also be positive and it could also be negative. So peer pressure is not just practically negative.
Just like I influenced you to be here today.
You just have to catch me now. You just have to catch me. So that's regardless. We've also mentioned that peer pressure could also be direct and indirect.
Yes.
So before we end this, I would like to shout out to my audience and tell everyone out there, in case someone is directly influencing you now, like directly influencing you to do something you don't want to do, please speak up.
And you know it's negative. Please speak up.
Please speak up on time, because you have your destiny is in your hands.
Exactly.
Don't say you are too small, you still have a world ahead of you. Your destiny is in your hands. And before I forget, one of the misconceptions concerning peer pressure is that people feel that it is okay to fit in. Like, man, in fact, everybody fits in. That is wrong. You can actually stand out. Yes. You don't have to fit in. You can stand out. You can make the difference. You can be that one wise boy in the midst of plenty black boys, and then everybody's looking at you differently.
Just like I'm the only fair person.
Okay, you just have to say that. I'll excuse you for now.
All right.
You just have to speak up. So please speak up. Please speak up.
And every decision that you make today determines the outcome of your future. Determines when you come to the consequences. You will face it alone, whether you were influenced by somebody directly or indirectly. The consequences, you face it alone. Your parents will not be there. Those people that influenced you, if it's a negative one, will not be there. So please speak up.
Facebook will not be there.
TikTok. You might never have the strength to come on TikTok and dance.
You know the funny thing? It is your story that will even be casted on this social media and
may not be a bad example.
God forbid.
Okay, all right. We're still going to continue this topic in our next episode. It's a wrap on this particular one. I really enjoyed myself today. I've been exposed to truth, to light. I think that when peer pressure is only negative, but today I understand that peer pressure can be positive as well. I can't be influenced in a positive way. So it's a wrap on this particular episode. This show is brought to you and is powered, sponsored by Ipen Studios. Teenagers out there, please do well to subscribe, follow us, show this to your friends. Those people that are even influencing you, go and show it to them.
No,
They need to see
it's your job to influence them.
Exactly. So I'll leave you with this quote, like you said, those you hang around with
determines what hangs on you.
Exactly.
And also your association determines your assimilation.
I love this Rema. Yeah.
Time,
exactly.
show.
Yeah.
Bye for now.
Bye.